The two most harmful vitamins for leg weakening following 60. Feeling your legs become weaker, heavier, or sore could indicate concern. Observe that even standing for a long period, walking or ascending stairs is starting to be difficult. If so, be very careful. What I'm about to show in this video could be something you'd never guess and could help to clarify precisely why this is occurring. Eating some hazardous meals, two vitamins shockingly deemed necessary for health, and a combination of two elements sapping the strength in your legs all contribute to this problem. Sure, vitamins that everyone claims are helpful for you can really be making your muscles weaker, straining your joints, and causing your legs to be unsteady, uncomfortable, and exposed. The most terrifying aspect is these hazards are in your daily existence. Every sip and every mouthful could be nourishing the weakness you experience. But it carries on. These two vitamins you might be popping right now will truly astound you. When in fact you're hastening muscular loss and undermining your legs, you likely purchase them at the pharmacy with the best intentions, believing you are safeguarding yourself, caring of your body, and fortifying your bones. This film will reveal the reality behind these pills and foods. You'll know what is actually causing the weariness, edema, stiffness, and pain that keeps recurring. Most importantly, you will discover what to avoid and what to alter from now to recover your power, vitality, and autonomy. Wish to maintain your leg strength for years and age healthily? Then, stay with me till the end. Sweets and sugary desserts. Desserts and sweets have traditionally been linked to comfort and enjoyment. After 60, though, this practice might become a quiet enemy for your leg health. Excessive refined sugar intake sets off inflammatory reactions in the body, particularly in the muscles and joints. Chronic inflammation causes the legs to be more sensitive, uncomfortable, and prone to deterioration. Furthermore, sugar is directly related to higher insulin resistance, which depletes muscular energy. Muscle weakens and grows less efficient when it lacks sufficient energy. Excess sugar also helps one acquire weight, which puts more strain on your legs. Every additional pound calls for more work from your lower body muscles and joints. Extra weight increases wear and tear, discomfort, and a sense of weakness in the lower extremities. For older people who naturally lose muscular mass with age, this is especially concerning. Sugar also increases the body's toxin generation, which aggravates inflammatory reactions even more. The more inflammation there is, the more difficult it is to maintain your legs useful and firm. What many people don't realize is that sugar creates a vicious cycle in your body that specifically targets your leg muscles. When you consume high amounts of refined sugar, your body produces something called advanced glycation end products, or AGEs. These compounds literally stick to your muscle proteins, making them stiff and less functional. Think of it like rust forming on metal, but inside your muscle fibers. Your leg muscles, being the largest and most active muscle groups in your body, accumulate these AGEs faster than other muscles, leading to that heavy, sluggish feeling many seniors experience. Were you aware that sugar directly influences blood flow? Consumed in excess, it raises the likelihood of vascular disorders restricting lower limb blood flow. Poor circulation means the leg muscles get fewer oxygen and nutrients. This hinders tissue renewal and slows muscular recovery. A dessert's enjoyment could be too expensive for your health. Apart from metabolic consequences, sweets are deficient in necessary nutrients for muscular health, such proteins and magnesium. Put another way, you're eating empty calories that weaken the body instead of strengthening it. In old age, this kind of unbalanced diet causes muscular mass loss, one of the main adversaries of mobility. The cause could be as straightforward as a slice of pie or a piece of cake if you believe your legs are growing more weaker. What looks like an innocent indulgence could be undermining your independence and strength. Most factory-made sweets also have chemical additives, like dyes and preservatives, that aggravate inflammation. These elements disturb the natural equilibrium of the body and immediately influence the muscular system. When mixed with sugar, they create a very bad health combo. Already a significant move is replacing these sweets with natural alternatives as cinnamon on fruit or handmade desserts with lower sugar. Of course, you can still have a dessert, just with wiser decisions that honor your body, your legs, and your taste. Senses will appreciate you. Fried foods. Fries are hard to resist, but the harm they do to the body after 60 cannot be overlooked. Rich in trans and saturated fats, these foods raise inflammatory markers in the body. This inflammation directly impacts the muscles and joints, hence stiffening the legs, increasing their discomfort, and predisposing them to damage. Fried meals fat also hinders blood flow, hence complicating muscle oxygenation. Poor circulation robs the body of its capacity to heal and grow strong. Fried meals also cause blood vessel blockage, which is another problem. This restricts even further the passage of vital nutrients to the leg muscles. Over time, this mechanism weakens the body's support and hastens joint wear. The process of frying food creates something called lipid peroxides, which are toxic compounds that attack your muscle cell membranes. When you consume fried foods regularly, these peroxides accumulate in your leg muscles, making the muscle fibers less flexible and more prone to damage. This is why many people notice their legs feel stiffer and more painful the day after eating a meal heavy in fried foods. Among the key offenders are foods such as donuts, chicken nuggets, and French fries. Before we begin, I would like to know where you are with me today. Leave a comment down below, and don't hesitate to inquire about anything. Remember to press the subscribe button and enable notifications to always get the greatest health advice from Senior Health. And if you're viewing now, I want to know you're with me. Comment type 1 if this video resonates with you. If not, type 0. Consumed often, these products really overwhelm the skeletal and circulatory systems. The flavor does not warrant the health harm. Have you ever noticed that after a dinner high in fried foods, your legs felt more sore and heavier? Your body is responding to the surplus of harmful fats. These foods' long digestion uses a lot of energy. Thus, less is left for the muscles. This diet may directly reflect in leg weariness. Furthermore, regular eating of fried meals has been associated with weight rise, which further compounds the strain on the lower extremities. Breaking it is quite difficult. Fried foods also have low nutritional density, which means they provide few vitamins, minerals, and proteins, really strengthening the muscles. A diet ruled by this kind of food creates an imbalance that encourages loss of muscular mass. Less muscle causes the legs to lose stability and rigidity. This affects your capacity to carry weight, ascend stairs, or walk securely. Avoiding fried foods is one of several straightforward actions that can help you to keep your mobility and independence. Changing fried foods for better cooking techniques helps to save your legs. Though its impact on the body, particularly after 60, is far from benign, white bread is a typical breakfast and snack item. Made from refined flour, it goes through a procedure removing most of the fibers and necessary nutrients. This makes it a quickly absorbed carbohydrate that raises blood glucose levels. These spikes directly impact muscular health, particularly in the legs, hence generating weariness and weakness. Regular eating causes metabolic imbalance. White bread low in fiber and high in glycemic index also increases insulin resistance by lacking fiber. This impairs the entrance of glucose into muscle cells, hence influencing the energy and strength required for daily activities. Muscle firmness in the legs is more difficult to keep the less energy they get. The bleaching process used to make white flour creates compounds called alloxan, which is actually used in laboratories to induce diabetes in research animals. When you consume white bread regularly, you're exposing your body to these diabetogenic compounds that can damage the insulin-producing cells in your pancreas. As your insulin function deteriorates, your muscles, especially the large muscle groups in your legs, become less able to utilize glucose for energy. This leads to muscle weakness and the feeling that your legs are heavy or hard to move. This can develop into muscular mass loss, something somewhat typical with aging. In this case, white bread stops being a neutral food and starts to be a cause of irritation. White bread's effects extend beyond glucose. Being a diet low in proteins and minerals, it provides no genuine help for muscle recovery. To prevent sarcopenia, the progressive loss of muscle, older persons require more proteins. Neglecting alternative protein sources and consuming white bread every day is a mistake that depletes the body meal by meal. This could result in unresistant, weary, unsteady legs. Apart from not feeding, white bread encourages weight increase, particularly when paired with butter, cheeses, or desserts. Excess weight puts pressure on the legs already inherently more fragile in later ages. Pain, inflammation, and an increased risk of injury follow. White bread limits mobility rather than supporting. Every bite could appear innocuous, but the total of bad eating practices is what causes the most harm. Fortunately, there are many more nutritional and better substitutes. Whole grain breads naturally fermented or manufactured with grains like oats, flaxseed, and rye provide beneficial fibers and nutrients. They indirectly enhance muscles, promote digestion, and aid to normalize blood sugar. Combined with proteins and healthy fats, such as eggs or avocado, they create balanced meals. You need not give up bread. Simply select better. Still in this movie, you will find the two worst vitamins that impair your legs. With age, especially when we consider muscle and joint health of the legs, consuming alcoholic drinks is even more dangerous. Beyond 60, the body becomes less efficient in metabolizing alcohol, hence increasing its detrimental consequences. Among the key results is the challenge in absorbing vital minerals, including calcium, magnesium, and vitamin D. Lacking these components, the muscles weaken and the bones get brittle, hence heightening the likelihood of fractures and falls. Alcohol also directly hinders muscle repair. This implies that following any physical exertion, the body needs more time to restore the tissues, hence causing extended pain, weariness, and an increased chance of damage. The drink also causes dehydration, which impairs muscular flexibility and promotes leg unpleasant cramps. Furthermore, Alcohol impairs liver function, which is connected to the synthesis of compounds vital for tissue health. Alcohol's impact on leg health goes beyond simple dehydration and nutrient depletion. Chronic alcohol consumption creates a condition called alcoholic myopathy, where the muscle fibers themselves become damaged and weak. This condition affects the legs first, because they contain the largest muscle groups and bear the most weight throughout the day. The link between drinking and weight increase is also quite significant. Alcoholic drinks are very calorie-rich and encourage belly fat formation even in contemporary quantities. This extra weight strains the legs and calls for more from the joints, hence impairing the ability to move. Adding this to the natural decrease of muscle mass with aging can have catastrophic effects on mobility and quality of life. Have you observed that your body wakes up more exhausted and aching after a night of drinking? That's the reflection of the strain alcohol puts on the muscles and joints. Regular use raises the body's inflammatory levels, which aggravates discomfort and lowers the desire for physical activity. Over time, this practice greatly undermines the body's capacity to remain active and healthy. And shortly, I'm going to disclose which 2 vitamins could weaken your legs. Many people's routines include processed meats for their convenience, yet they mask grave leg health hazards, particularly in old age. High in sodium and chemical preservatives, foods such as bacon, ham, and sausages encourage chronic inflammation throughout the body. This kind of inflammation impacts the joints and causes ongoing discomfort in the leg muscles, ankles, and knees. These foods may be directly related to the stiffness people experience upon awakening. Processed meats have another drawback: their high saturated fat content. This fat decreases muscular blood flow, raises negative cholesterol levels, and compromises circulation. Poor irrigation deprives the leg muscles of nutrition and oxygen, hence impairing their maintenance and regeneration. The outcome is a gradual weakening of the lower extremities, and eventually this decline in power restricts basic daily tasks. The nitrates and nitrites used to preserve processed meats convert into compounds called nitrosamines in your digestive system. These nitrosamines are not only carcinogenic, but they also interfere with oxygen transport in your blood. Your leg muscles, being large and active, require substantial amounts of oxygen to function properly. When nitrosamines reduce the oxygen-carrying capacity of your blood, your legs are among the first body parts to suffer, leading to fatigue, weakness, and poor endurance. Furthermore, these meals help to accumulate toxins in the body, stressing the liver and kidneys. These organs are vital in filtering out chemicals that, when collected, led to muscular weariness. Preservatives in processed meats have also been shown to affect glucose metabolism, hence lowering the muscle energy available. Once more, the effect is experienced straight in the legs, as ongoing feelings of weariness and heaviness. While elderly people sometimes select these items for their ease, dietary attention should be doubled exactly in this stage of life. When it comes to sacrificing quality of life, the convenience might be expensive. Choosing healthy proteins such as eggs, chicken, fish, and lean cuts of beef is a key first step in maintaining muscular strength and health. All the difference comes from easy replacements. Substitute avocado or olive oil for bacon, cooked eggs for sausage, and shredded chicken breast for ham. The body starts to adjust with these modifications. The legs become lighter and more alive. Between taste and freedom, Between pleasure and lifespan, it's a reasonable deal. Now we will expose the two worst vitamins that, if taken in excess, could compromise your leg strength. Second, excess vitamin A. Vitamin A is necessary for several bodily processes, including eyesight, immunity, and skin integrity. But too much vitamin A, particularly from supplements, can be harmful and lead to a number of negative consequences, including on the leg muscles. Beyond 60, the body struggles more to metabolize and excrete too much of this vitamin, raising the likelihood of liver and joint buildup. Mass muscle discomfort, particularly in the legs and back, is among the most prevalent signs of hypervitaminosis. Though it comes from too much vitamin, which inflames the muscular tissues. This discomfort might be confused with joint or spinal difficulties. Apart from discomfort, evident indicators that nutritional balance has been disturbed are reports of muscular weakness, trouble ascending stairs, walking, or rising from a prolonged sitting. What makes vitamin A toxicity particularly insidious for leg health is how it interferes with vitamin D metabolism. These two fat-soluble vitamins compete for the same transport proteins in your bloodstream, and when vitamin A levels are too high, it can effectively block vitamin D from reaching your muscles and bones. Since vitamin D is crucial for muscle strength and bone density, this interference leads to progressive weakness in your largest muscle groups, particularly your legs. Too much vitamin A also hinders the absorption of other vital minerals, including magnesium and calcium. Lacking these minerals, the muscles cannot contract and relax correctly, hence promoting the development of weariness, spasms, and cramps in the legs. Furthermore, vitamin A buildup in the liver could impair energy generation, hence compromising muscular function. The result is a gradual decline in mobility and strength. Excess vitamin A has another adverse effect: bone demineralization, especially in the legs and hips, areas much used in daily life. This compromises the bones and raises the likelihood of fractures. In those with osteopenia or osteoporosis, the impact is far more harmful. Vitamin A supplements should thus be used only under medical guidance and always in regulated amounts. One of the key drivers of these concealed issues is self-medication, naturally occurring in foods such liver, egg yolk, whole milk, carrot, and pumpkin. Vitamin A is a balanced diet eliminates the need for supplements. Exaggeration, particularly in enriched goods or potent supplements, starts the risk. Thus, taking into account all sources including multivitamins, total intake must be watched closely. First, often linked to bone health and the correct immune system operation, excess vitamin D is especially advised for the aged. But few people realize that too much of it may have major negative effects, even on the legs, usually from excessive supplementation. Hypervitaminosis D results from a buildup of this vitamin in the body. Muscle discomfort is one of the key signs of this imbalance. It is accompanied by weakening and motor coordination loss. Unlike other vitamins the body quickly discards, vitamin D is fat-soluble and so stores in adipose tissues. Excess vitamin D can lead to higher blood calcium levels, sometimes called hypercalcemia. This results in leg stiffness, muscle burning, cramps, joint discomfort, and other related symptoms. Hypercalcemia immediately impacts the muscles and nerves, hence compromising the electrical impulses directing body motions. The mechanism by which excess vitamin D weakens your legs is both complex and devastating. When you take too much vitamin D, your body absorbs excessive amounts of calcium from your digestive tract. This flood of calcium doesn't just stay in your bones where it belongs, it begins to deposit in your muscle fibers, particularly in your legs, which bear the most weight and stress throughout the day. These calcium deposits act like tiny pieces of concrete within your muscle tissue, making the fibers stiff and less able to contract effectively. Vitamin D can also lead to unnecessary calcification of soft tissues, including muscles and tendons. This implies that places like the knees, calves, and thighs might get stiffer, less flexible, and uncomfortable under effort. What ought to be a protective chemical becomes one of wear and restriction. Elderly adults who take high amounts of vitamin D without medical supervision have a higher risk of experiencing these problems. Another troubling issue is that large doses of vitamin D can harm the kidneys in charge of mineral balance in the blood. Poor filtration and substance retention show the renal effect, which aggravates leg edema, muscular discomfort, and a feeling of weakness. This sets off a feedback loop. More vitamin D, more calcium, less kidney function, more muscle difficulties. The kidney damage from vitamin D toxicity creates a particularly vicious cycle for leg health. When your kidneys can't properly filter excess calcium from your blood, that calcium has to go somewhere. Much of it ends up depositing in the soft tissues of your legs, creating painful calcium deposits in your muscles, tendons, and even the walls of your blood vessels. These deposits don't just cause pain, they actually interfere with blood flow to your leg muscles, creating areas of poor circulation that lead to weakness, cramping, and slow healing of even minor injuries. Vitamin D supplementation should always be tailored depending on lab tests and medical advice. Hence, it is crucial to stress this. Many individuals believe they are good for the body, and so consume huge amounts on their own. Excess can be just as dangerous as lack. And with regard to the legs, the result can be the loss of movement and independence. The most tragic aspect of vitamin D toxicity is how slowly it develops and how easily it's misdiagnosed. The early symptoms, muscle aches, fatigue, weakness in the legs, are often attributed to normal aging or other conditions. By the time the toxicity is recognized, significant damage may have already occurred to the muscle tissue and kidneys. The calcium deposits that form in leg muscles during vitamin D toxicity don't just disappear when you stop taking the supplements. Some of this damage can be permanent, which is why prevention through proper dosing is so critical. Subscribe to the channel since it was created to help you become a healthier person with higher quality of life. Hence, if you wish to continue getting the greatest videos for your health, do so. Assisting you is my goal. The video now playing on your screen shows the 3 necessary vitamins every diabetic should take. Check it out by clicking on the screen. Therefore, till the following video.